I'm Georgia, and I am a robotics engineer and the founder at Reclamation Factory, and I want to tell you about our plan to turn your trash into valuable new products. I don't think I need to tell this room that plastics recycling is broken. In the United States, we generate 40 million tons of plastic every year, but less than 6% of that is ever turned into something new. At the same time, manufacturing demand for recycled plastic is on the rise, and in 2023, we actually had to import recycled plastic from other countries to meet that demand. So if there's such an acute need for recycled plastic, why is so much of ours ending up in the landfill? It's because our infrastructure was never set up to reclaim plastic. It was set up to collect trash. Right now, our plastic processing capacity is less than 10% of generation. That means that even if everything you threw out is perfectly clean and sorted, we have the ability to turn less than a tenth of that into something new. And at the same time, it's important to remember that experts agree that we're not going to have the infrastructure that keeps up with our plastic generation and recycled plastic demand. And ultimately, rural and small manufacturers and generators are going to be the losers in this equation. And I know this personally because I used to manufacture with recycled plastic, or I tried to. Before starting Reclamation Factory, I designed and 3D printed small dwellings, but I struggled to find a source material that was sustainable. We were much too large to be recycling our own plastic and much too small to be interesting to the large processors and recyclers. The small but mighty team at Reclamation Factory wants to change this. And we're doing that by simplifying and expanding our plastic recycling infrastructure. We are doing that by taking your trash and turning it directly into products that are valuable for domestic manufacturing, like flake, pellet, and extruded form at the point of generation. We're developing an automated, modular, and intelligent plastics microfactory that can be distributed anywhere where plastic waste is a problem. This microfactory is going to really connect inputs to outputs, make really well-traced plastic recycling to support and expand our current plastics recycling infrastructure. Right now, the plastics recycling and plastic resin production markets are huge. Post-consumer plastic market in particular is a $6.5 billion market that is expected to double by 2032. We're focusing in on the tri-state regions of West Virginia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and we see our immediately addressable market size as $1.5 billion, and this is just on our post-processed offtake side of the market, and not yet considering the potential market size for waste collection. Like any waste management company, we make money by collecting trash. How we are different is we are skipping over the brokers, the storage facilities, the transporters, and the post-processors, and selling that valuable manufacturing source material that we produce directly. We're focusing in on communities and campuses of 10,000 people or less, and supplying them with detailed diversion reporting. And on the offtake side, we're focusing on small manufacturers and providing them with a fully traced recycled product that has a compelling local story. We spent the last year really proving out our market on both sides of that market. Right now, we are part of the PGH Lab 10 program, and we are working with Pittsburgh Department of Public Waste to identify some sources of hard-to-recycle plastic and find potential diversion pipelines for them. We are also operating an identification and size reduction pilot with a local plastic recycler, Reimagine Recycling. Thank you so much for your time, and looking forward to your questions.
Will you be able to handle mixed waste streams, or do you require, fully separated plastic?
Initially, we're focusing in on mostly separated plastic, so fairly specific waste streams and mostly verifying that anything that comes into our pipeline is what our manufacturers on the other side of the pipeline expect it to be. In the future, though, we would really like to be dealing with more mixed waste streams and being able to process multiple types of plastic.
In terms of the form factor and the composition of the offtake, how easy or hard is it going to be to get a customer that's going to accept what your modules make?
Yeah, like I said, demand for recycled plastic right now is really high. PET and polypropylene in particular are seeing spikes. What is most important to most manufacturers is that that material is to spec, so that there isn't a lot of contamination or other plastics, and also clean. So meeting those two requirements with our technology is well within our capabilities.
And your goal is to create a fully integrated and automated solution. You've had a depiction there. How far away do you think you are from realizing that?
I think we're a few years away from realizing that full pipeline. However, just the initial part of that pipeline, separation or identification and size reduction, which is a huge part of the market, we are just a few months away from some of our first pilots with those two consolidated and automated processes. Great. Thank you, everyone.